Progressives, this is your trigger warning. Well. It seems the Trump trial in New York is going off the rails. From the gateway, breaking a fuming Judge Merchan runs interference for Bragg, which was, he's supposed to be an impartial judge, at least in theory, and we all know better. Shouts at Trump defense witness Robert Costello, who, by the way, is a former U.S. attorney and prosecutor. Get out of the courtroom now. It seems like Judge Merchan is losing his blank. I wonder why. Let's check out, we'll go back to this article. Let's check out what's going on over at Twitter concerning this. Here it is from Paul and Gracia. Judge Merchan grows irate, begins excoriating Robert Costello, that's the former U.S. attorney with 2+ decades of experience, on the stand for making a few offhanded remarks and rolling his eyes during the testimony. Yeah, he was a little snarky. The judge says, "Are you staring me down right now?" Costello says, "I'm not." Merchan, "Get out of the courtroom now. Get out of the courtroom." The video feed cuts. And then they sent out all the press out of the room, and all the press was protesting like crazy, as well they should, and the whole thing is imploding. According to Paul Ingracia, this may be the most explosive exchange of the day. Bragg's case unfolded before everyone's eyes. Lawrence O'Donnell ran out of the courtroom in a mad dash. These New York Times reporters, visibly jaded, were holding back tears. Yeah, we get to get Trump. It doesn't matter if it's legal. It doesn't matter if it's moral. It doesn't matter. There's no case here. As long as we get Trump, it's justified. But somehow, some way, the worm's going to turn, and it's going to be them that's going to be accused of things and brought to trial for no good reason. They just don't know it yet. Now, let's get back to the story. President Trump was back in Manhattan court on Monday in Alvin Bragg's Soviet-style hush-money lawfare trial. It is lawfare. Absolutely. It is Soviet-style, or third world country style, or whatever you want to call it. The prosecutors early Monday rolled out their star witness, Michael Cohen, a convicted perjurer, to take the witness stand. Now, Michael Cohen, by the way, has admitted to several felonies and had several others. And they came to him and said, if you testify against Trump, we will waive prosecuting those felonies to get former President Trump on misdemeanors. Have you ever heard of somebody getting waived to be put on trial for felonies if they went on the stand and went after somebody for a misdemeanor, which doesn't exist, but even still a misdemeanor? I've never heard of it. Cohen shocked the public when he admitted he stole tens of thousands of dollars from Trump and lied to the Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg. After the prosecution rested their case, Trump's defense team attorney Robert Costello to the witness stand. That's the former U.S. attorney and prosecutor. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? Let's take a little short video here. Even on CNN, they're starting to say, listen, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Let's listen.
In a raised voice.
Jake, the judge has just cleared the entire courtroom.
Yeah.
It appears that now this has escalated to a security concern, and the overflow is cut. We're not getting any more information. I mean, the fact that this has escalated to this
Yeah, pretty wild, huh? Here's the exchange between Judge Merchan and Robert Costello, courtesy of the Gateway contributor Paul Ingracia. You saw his Twitter post earlier, who was inside the courtroom with live reporting. Merchan grows irate, begins excoriating Robert Costello on the stand for making a few offhand remarks and rolling his eyes during the testimony because he knows this is such a farce. The judge says to him, "Are you staring me down right now?" And Costello said, "I'm not." The judge hollered, "Get out of the courtroom now. Get out of the courtroom." The video feed cuts. And that's when they got rid of the jury. And, of course, they cleared the courtroom, which really pissed off a lot of the media, including the left media. You know, if I was Judge Merchan, His daughter is making millions, by the way. She does advertising on the internet for Democratic candidates. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing illegal or underhanded. Both sides do it, where they hire people to run their fundraising campaigns online. I have zero problem with it, but when your father's the judge in the Trump case and you're getting money directly and indirectly from the Biden campaign and making millions, yeah, you might have an issue. To go back to what I was asking, when Judge Merchan was first offered this trial, say, listen, this is a slam dunk. We got this guy. We know this is BS, and we know that one of the charges, oh, by the way, the underlying crime was the felony. It was the mishandling of business records. That's a misdemeanor at best, but it was a felony because it covered up another crime. And as of yet, and the prosecution has closed their case, they have not named what that other charge is, that other law that was broken. Don't you find that interesting? But yeah, let's get back. Judge Merchan, we got this. We got this. We got him. We're going to have a jury that's all in favor of convicting Trump. You can run this thing. We've got him. He cannot squirrel out of this. Even though it's bogus, it doesn't matter because the end justifies the means. You will be famous and you will be a hero among your lefties and progressives in New York. Merchan said, sure. Why not? Well, guess what, Judge Merchan? You screwed the pooch, as they say. It's all coming apart because there was nothing there. You should have said no. Now, if he had any brains and wanted to save his reputation and his career, which is now in shambles, he will go ahead and go and rule on the dismissal of the case. But he can't. He's painted himself into a corner. If he does, I will be pleasantly surprised and absolutely astounded. He needs to save his own behind. Merchan is obviously seething over Costello's damning testimony. Yeah. And every time that the prosecutor objected to a question, sustained. It's like, did you ever see the movie, and you should see it, with Paul Newman called The Verdict? And you'll get an idea. It's incredibly well acted. He should have got an Academy Award. He got cheated out of it, but I digress. It's a case, a civil case, where a lady went brain dead. She threw up in her mask during a delivery, a C-section, and is now basically in a coma forever, and they're suing the hospital and the doctor. And everything goes against Paul Newman, who's a defense lawyer, until the truth comes out. It's a great movie, great movie. And by the way, into the audience during the trial, when Paul Newman gives his dissertation to the jury, sitting as an extra among all of those people, if you look over into the crowd, is a very young Bruce Willis with all his hair and a big giant tie. But I digress. Great movie. I suggest you people watch it. Get an idea how this trial is going and how basically this is just being railroaded. It's amazing. The type of treatment Costello, an experienced prosecutor who was once worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office for New York in the late 70s and 80s, is receiving on the witness stand from the judge is disgusting. Merchan is visibly perturbed, that's the judge, condescending and downright abusive of the witness on the stand, outrageous behavior from a judge and totally inappropriate for any courtroom. No decorum whatsoever. Yeah, but here's the thing. They don't care about this being overturned if Trump is found guilty. All they want is their guilty verdict. That's all they need. It'll be overturned in 5 minutes, even in New York, when they go to the Supreme Court or a higher court in New York. It'll be overturned in a minute. That doesn't matter. What they want is their conviction. And even if it is overturned before the November election, they're going to say, formally convicted ex-president Donald Trump, and that's all they really want. Judge Merchan ran interference for Alvin Bragg and continued to shout at Costello. Yeah, when the judge is working for the prosecution. This reminds me of the old Soviet-style trials they used to have. Go back on YouTube here and check out some of these trials and some of the trials in Germany in the late 30s and early 40s. Same thing. Bragg prosecutor, did you say Michael Cohen is acting like a drama queen, yes or no? Costello, I said I didn't know if Michael Cohen is acting as a drama queen. The judge, again, chastises Costello from the stand. Would you just answer yes or no? Well, that's not a yes or no answer. Bragg prosecutor, you don't like drama queens, do you? Well, I don't either. Judge Merchan abruptly ended the day's proceedings with "have a good night." Yeah, it's amazing. And this is the part where they're scared. He employs the jurors to not research the case through media, email, or telephone, text, or the internet. Reminds them they should not Google or discuss the case outside the courtroom because they don't want them to know what's going on in the real world concerning this case, concerning this trial, and how he cleared the courtroom and did all the things to save his own behind. Get out of the courtroom now. Amazing to me. This guy, for his Trump derangement syndrome, maybe to help his daughter out, get millions from the Democrats when she fundraises for them on the internet, which is a legal thing to do. He threw himself and threw his career into the toilet. Even in New York, he'll be branded as the biased judge. I'll tell you the truth. Here's the problem. These Democrats do these things. They have been for decades. And the opposite side, meaning the Republicans and the conservative people, when they get screwed over, they never push back. There's never any repercussions for doing the wrong thing. That's the impeachment trials that happened when Trump was president. They got rid of 1.5 terabytes worth of information on the impeachment committee. 1.5 terabytes of information is a crap load. Text, videos, testimonials, evidence, just vanished. Did anybody go to jail? Nope. Was anybody even charged? Nope. Was there really any investigation of how that 1.5 terabytes of information just plain old disappeared? Nope. Because the Republicans, they just must be in their nature. They just won't go after the other side nearly as hard as they do to them. So there it is. Judge Merchan, I'm glad your daughter's doing so well financially. You just threw your career and flushed it down the toilet. Until next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.